Alright, greetings and salutations everyone. Welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads. Let me mute this real quick, but also hopefully this will work out the way I want it to. This is the music I use with the group. So let me see, I'll turn it down just a smidge. There you go. Okay, I like it quite a bit. It is by Adrian von Ziegler. And he's on YouTube if you want to check him out. His music is free as long as with you accredit him type of situation. So that's why I use it quite a bit. But Lord willing, this is coming through all right. If the sound is messed up, let me know. I'm going to pull up something real quick. And before we begin, while I'm pulling that up, this is the Inn of Planar Crossroads webpage if you want to check us out. It is the iopc.com or innofplanarcrossroads.com. You can check us out at either one of those places, and it should be good for you. So there you are. Let me pull something out over here so that I can keep it out of the way, and I can monitor the actual. Oops, there we go. I'll monitor the chat. So, anybody who wants to pop in on the chat, you can. I am going to be going over, let me get this off for you guys. This is, again, our webpage if you want to check us out. Then let's go ahead and close that off. All right. We are here at Atar again. This is episode 1 because usually what happens, the first episode of, well, the first time we meet, we'll have kids that haven't played before or haven't done it, haven't done anything like tabletop RPGs before, and so that we use that as kind of just a way to get them used to the dice, used to the adding up, used to the character sheets, and that way it is easier for them to grasp it when we get into the actual game, which is what we're talking about this time. Let me see. I think before we go into the actual story, let me show you what I did with the group and how I'm handling how I did handle the upgrade of the different things that Devereaux, who is our transforming druid, our wild shaping druid, can change into. I did not show that last time, so I'm going to show that this time. Let me get this over there for you. Pull that back up. There we are. So we're back at Hero Muster, and what I did is I just marked the Celestial Bear 4. We'll start with the Celestial Bear. That's the tanky one, and it is 4 because I'm telling myself this is what Devereaux is supposed to be able to do at level 4. And what I basically did is put them at half the level. They have half the strength of the player, and this is because they're very focused in what they do. They are still able to be viable for him. The guard, toughness, resolve, all that are going to be better than Devereaux's in certain ways, depending on which one he's using, because they are so focused in their skills. You see 5, 5, 4, 3, 2 is what this one has, and it is basically what you would select, what you would expect of a bear. So that is that one. Let me see. We also have the feats that I gave it was a Martial Focus Claws, Lethal Strike 1, and Bane Focus Knockdown, so that it can really hit hard. If it hits hard enough, which exceeding by 5 isn't too hard. It's able to inflict that knockdown, make it even more powerful for them. So that's good stuff. The kids seem to like that. Let's get to the next one. We have the Moonless Nighthawk, which is more like the reconnaissance and domination one. What we did is we did attribute substitution will for influence, and then did a Bane focus, dominated. And that's pretty much what this thing does. It scouts out a little bit through flight, but also does that dominated bane. It's a kind of a mind influencing one. Oh, I didn't tell you about that, but these are basically different, just specific characters. They all have ageless, and then they have one other perk. So this one has ageless and observant, but it's vengeful and proud. And these do, in a real full-on game, this would affect the roleplay of Devereaux when he was in the game. It doesn't necessarily right now because this is for kids and such, so not necessarily something that they have to worry too much about for the 1 hour that they get to be around. It's really more like 45 minutes, 30 if we cut out some of the extraneous things. So, yeah, they get to mess around and stuff, but not for a whole long time. So it doesn't affect it too much, but it is still fun for them. So that's Moonless Nighthawk. Serpent of the Stars is one that's focused on the persistent damage bane. So it's got Fleet of Foot to make it faster, which is fitting, for a snake, or at least the characteristic ideas of a snake. And then Bane focus persistent damage and Martial focus fangs. So that's what this dude has. He actually has a spare feat point if I want to put it something in there, but I'm not right now. And some of them aren't maxed out. I haven't used their maximum attributes either, simply because they are very stripped down at the moment. I'll get them more honed in when we get this ready for release for people. So that's that on him. He has the Ageless and Jack of all trades perk with Ambitious and Stubborn as its flaws. The Serpent in the Stars I imagine as being one associated with wisdom, but also ambition and such. So that's kind of the idea behind that one. And then finally we have the Starweaver Spider, and I actually was kind of pleased with this one. It was a little tough as far as getting it figured out on what I wanted it to do, but the Starweaver Spider, she has Bane Focus Immobile, Long Shot Web, Climbing, and Craft Mundane Item Textiles. And this really did help her out, help me flesh out what this one for. The Starweaver Spider is the utility one to transform into, because this Craft Mundane Item Textiles can be for a lot of things. It's mainly meant to focus on the webbing and the weaver aspect, and the idea of destiny and stuff, and the work of that. So that's what I went for with this one. I gave it Ageless and Artisan, which makes sense, and then Honest and Cosmetic Deformity. So his association with this spider means that he does have access to like an artisan type of situation for that perk. So that's interesting, and it allows utility for those that want to play this as more of a full-on campaign when we release it. So that's what I've got for them. They are all set and upgraded. They're about, again, half power of the actual player. So by the time these players reach 5th level, these creatures these transformations that he has will have a few more experience, which is what really dictates what you can do and how many points you have to spend for your character. So there you go. That's what I've got for them. Let me go ahead and switch over here, take this off, so that we can get to the actual story for this time. So last time, and in the introduction and stuff, we did the epilogue for the last campaign. That was fun. Now we are doing the actual event start off. We're in episode 1 on season 4 here in Atar. They're right about, let me see, right about here is where they are. It might be right about, no, it's right about here probably, because there's these and then there's this, and these are big old mesas. This is the main portion of the desert. So there you go. Okay, coming back to this. See episode 1. So episode 1, we have Black Gates and Dark Plans. So, traveling to the Obsidian Gate with Slava and his large retinue of dwarves was nothing if not entertaining. Though the stone folk and jewel bones were quite stoic during the majority of the traveling, they became quite animated during 2 instances, in battle and in feasting. As best Maximilian could tell, their love of both was relatively equal, and they pursued them both vigorously. Wilhelm was less convinced that in his judgment of their attitude, perhaps due to his own affinity for combat, but his respect for Slava grew considerably as he watched him maintain control of such passionate peoples in the heat of combat with straggling kobolds. And that's to allude to the fact that they were fighting kobolds earlier. All in all, the group enjoyed their time with the dwarves. Even Devereaux, aloof as he usually was, spent much time with a few of the scholar priests. He especially seemed to favor following a diamond jewel-bone of considerable age named Olga. That he seemed to have known from somewhere before. This seemed to annoy her, but not in an unkind way, but in an almost familial one. This amused Hildegard quite a bit, and after meeting the diminutive priest, the two became quick friends. Even though this trip to the Great West Gate with their dwarven allies took only little time in the grand scheme of things, the heroes made many lasting friendships. So great was this fondness that when they came into sight of those towering black gates, they almost wished the march had taken just a bit longer. Almost. Because who wants to keep on marching after you've been marching for several days? Or say, several days. So, that is what we've got. And this alludes to them having fought and battled some of the kobolds in our introductory portion there. And I think that works out well. It works out for us so that they can kind of have that one and have that mentioned in there just briefly, because we're going to be getting into the encounter portion, and this is going to be more of them participating in the planning in that last paragraph that we're about to get to. So let's go ahead and read that one. The encounter section reads, "Any doubts that may have been in the minds of the dragon slayers about the obsidian gate not living up to the pomp that surrounded it were immediately assuaged in its actual presence. If the dark, reflective, and obviously magical gates weren't enough, then the trade and traffic at the entrance would have been. Only the streets of the City of Bronze could even compare to the bustle at the entrance of the dwarven metropolis, and what a metropolis it was. During their short stay within the great portal of the mountains, the unified design of the entire city impressed itself upon Maximilian. Obsidian seemed to stretch from the gates that they entered all the way through, presumably, to the other side. Most, but not all, of this was complemented with thin gold filigree accents that he recognized as highly complicated and intricate magic work. Never had he seen its like in all of Atar. Aside from Devereaux insisting on an apartment with a balcony that could catch a glimpse of the sunlight, there was little that kept the four of them from finding lodging, especially as Salvo was treating them as his personal guests. This was for more than just friendly reasons. They had much to plan for their assault on the Red Dragon. For a short time, Wilhelm was worried that the tight bureaucracy that seemed to be present in the place would hinder a quick decision. This might have proved true had Rexus, in his rage at the end, had Rexus not in his rage at the end, in his rage at the rout of his surprise invasion force at Los Hermosas Colinas, launched a fresh and forceful assault on the great teeth nearest his domain. The plan was for them all to travel with the next set of reinforcements through the secretive military tunnels to unite with the assailed forces and begin the direct assault on the demoniacal dragon stronghold. So I've got some typos in there that I'm seeing. But other than the typos, there is much to be enjoyed there. And hopefully the story is setting up strong for the kids so that they can have some fun with that. Hey, Mustache. And they can really start to feel like they're influencing the story and stuff. Because this time, they're going to be doing a bit of a challenge event at the front, I think. And then after that challenge event, we'll have a little bit of combat and some other stuff go on. I'm pretty sure that that's how we're going to do it. I'll try and fix some typos and things before I get it to the kids. But other than that, we should be pretty solid on what we've got going on. So let me see how long we've been going. I don't like to keep these too long because I want people to actually end up watching them. Okay, we're about 16 minutes. That's not too bad at all. So I hope you've enjoyed this particular development blog, or vlog, or whatever you want to call it, for Adventure Academia. Lord willing, we'll be able to get this refined out and figured out, and then have a bit more fun with it when it's actually more ready for release. I think that's good. My battery, I forgot to plug up my thing, so my battery's a little low. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. You guys have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Bye.